Yeah, I wish I knew it. That is fucking 4 flashlights, brother. Oh, never mind. I got light one on. We're good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to YouTube. I've got chat over this way, and they'll soon be above my head. But before we get into the tier list video, I do have a couple of things that I want to clear up from my last tier list video that I did way back yonder when. Just a couple of things that are sitting on my mind. If you're just here for the tier list, the timestamps are in the description down below. You can just go ahead and click and jump ahead. However, I do fully recommend that you listen to what I have to say for 2 reasons. Number 1, I am going to be giving you the qualifiers of which I judge every killer's power and how I'm going to be judging where I put them. And number 2, I am also going to be doing my best to attempt to get ahead of a type of comment that I know will be coming, and hopefully we can prevent that. Of course, this is YouTube, so probably not. Anyway, let's start off with the qualifiers. So before we get into the whole tier list, how I'm going to be judging every killer is based off of their situational list, which may not be a word, but essentially, the more if statements you have to add to a killer in order to say they are strong, the lower they go on the tier list, right? If you have to go, well, this killer is strong if you bring these perks, if you bring these add-ons, if you are on this map, if the survivors aren't blah, blah, blah. The more you have to tack on to the killer's power and the killer's strength, the weaker they are inherently, right? That's the way I look at it. That's the way I've always looked at it, right? I am saying this to hopefully prevent somebody from going, well, actually, Trapper is S++ tier if you bring 4 slowdowns and his best add-ons and the survivors are stupid and it's Hawkins and it's the 3rd Tuesday in May, right? I don't care about all of these different ways that you think that you could possibly make the killer work. If you have to do that, the killer isn't strong. Okay, we're judging this off of their base kit potential and what needs to happen in order for them to win the game, okay? If you judge it differently, that's fine. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that's how I'm doing this, okay? Okay, awesome. Secondly, at the end of the day, this is going to be an opinion. As always, I try to be as objective as possible. I look at the current state of the game. I look at what is required to win the game. I look at how the game works. But I am going to have disagreements with you in the comment section at home, with my Twitch chat watching me right now, who's over here, not over here. I'm going to have disagreements with other content creators. I am going to disagree, and you're going to disagree with me. I do not care about that. I only ask that you do not act like a fucking jackass. This is a video game. We are talking about the power level of characters in a video game. So please, please, for me and for your own sanity, keep it civil. Have your disagreements be as civil as possible. Do not be a fucking weirdo. I had to ban someone earlier this year because every single time their favorite killer was put in the D tier in any tier list, they would throw a fucking temper tantrum. They would act like a child while they were a grown-ass human being, and I got exhausted of it and finally fully banned them from my community. They are fucking annoying because they feel like they have a personal connection to their favorite killer, and any criticism of that killer's power is a personal attack on them. You are not the killer you play. As fun as it is, as much as you love it, as cool as it is to even role play, you are not the killer you play. Me putting a killer lower than where you think they go is not a personal attack on you. On the flip side of that coin, you guys are not my attack dogs. If someone in the comment section is civilly disagreeing with me on the placement of where I put a killer based off of my qualifiers, I do not want to see you dehumanizing them and going after them as if there is something morally wrong with them because they disagree with me. I also had that in my last tier list and had to ban a couple of people for that as well. This is a fucking video game. Let's not take it that goddamn seriously. Okay? All right. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the tier list. All right, let's start off with the Trapper. Now, I'm going to explain each of the tiers as I fill them up, but the Trapper is our first F tier killer. F tier is reserved for killers who, in my opinion, are just simply useless. Killers who need way too much to be any kind of viable, and the biggest problem with them is almost always going to be the fact that the survivors are in complete control of how you play the game. Evan is simply too slow. His map, add-on, perk reliance are all extremely high. He has to have stuff to slow down the game in the perks. He has to have add-ons to give him all of his traps, to make his traps not fucking useless. He has to have stuff that allows him to actually play the game. He has to be on maps that either have tall grass, dark shadows, or tight corners to hide his traps around. If he doesn't have those things, which is most maps in the game, unfortunately, he's going to struggle because his maps are his traps are way too obvious. But the biggest thing here is that if the survivors are even remotely competent, he loses the game. He plays the game basically without a power if the survivors have even the smallest amount of paying attention. And that is the biggest problem for the Trapper. That's always been his biggest problem. And for whatever reason, the devs refuse to actively fix this. They refuse to take a look at this problem and actually look at the issue that the Trapper is so outdated. To paraphrase Otts, Trapper was designed in 1775 when everything was in black and white. This man is so fucking outdated and he needs so much help, and I don't know why the devs will not do what needs it. They've given this man like 500 buffs and he still sucks. Like, please just let him start with all his traps. Let's start with baby steps. Let him start with all his traps and we'll move on from there. That's like the bare minimum. The bare minimum. Oh my god, brother. Okay. Moving on to Wraith, Philip Ojomo. I actually have gone back and forth with Wraith because on one hand, he's a lot stronger than most of the M1 killers, but on the other hand, he is still an M1 killer at the end of the day. But I would say his perk reliance is about a medium. You're gonna need stuff like, most of the time you're gonna need stuff like Bamboozle, Hex Ruin, some type of slowdown, not really Brutal Strength. Brutal Strength's not that, that bad in my opinion. I would say if I'm going to give him a power level, how's his map reliance? I think his map reliance is kind of high. And the palette density is really, really bad. I would say C tier. I would say, yeah, KMD in the chat said it. I think high C tier is a very fair place to put Wraith. He's just, right now with the palette density, Jin's flying at the speed of light, he needs so much to help him actually apply pressure. The Wraith's best play style, the hit and run play style, has not been viable for a very, very long time. And that weakens him a lot. Just the current state of the game is too fast. There's too many resources for him to realistically deal with without having a lot to patch it. But the baseline power of being able to zip around the map in invisibility gives him a decent amount of map pressure that keeps him out of the D tier, I think. Right? Next up is the Hillbilly. What I would largely consider to be my first, or maybe even my second main. I guess my first main was Ghostface. Hillbilly is incredibly strong. His perk and add-on reliance are both extremely low. You don't really need them. A lot of people say you need Bamboozle, but I don't think you do. Killers in the A tier are killers who have like only one thing really preventing them from being S, right? If you're in the A tier, then there's only like one or two things preventing you from being S. And for me personally, I think Billy is not S tier because of his map reliance. His map reliance is just slightly too, like, it's not hot, it's not medium, but it's not low. It's like a low to mid map reliance because indoor maps really fuck him, and there's like 2 or 3 outdoor maps like Toba Landing that have really funky fucking collision and just have shit absolutely everywhere that do prevent a lot of his power from working. Billy's curve is really strong, and once you master it, like you get a lot of cool hits, but unfortunately there are some loops that you can't curve around. They just exist in such a way where there's like stuff that slightly is jagged out, and it can cause you to bump more often than not, and so that just really holds him back from being S, because on top of him being stupid powerful, he just has too much reliance on whether or not he's spawning on a decent map without a lot of. Next up is the Nurse. I think everybody knows this. Nurse is S tier. S tier killers are killers that have extremely low perk, add-on, and map reliance. Basically, they can play the game however they want. They don't need certain perks. They don't need certain add-ons. They don't need certain maps. They don't need the survivors to be fucking stupid. They don't need anything. You can play them perkless, add-onless, and still do very well as long as you've mastered their base core mechanics. And Nurse is simply always going to be at the top. Being able to ignore the obstacles in the game, being able to instantly negate distances is just too strong. It's just too strong. It doesn't matter what you do as Survivor, mathematically speaking, the Nurse can outdo you. And mathematically speaking, the Nurse is not really punished by mistakes that often. She is punished, right? If you're just spam blinking everywhere and you're not really paying attention to what you're doing, yeah, you're going to lose games. But realistically speaking, you can stun the Nurse, blind the Nurse, do all this stuff to the Nurse, and nothing happens to her. She can still just overly oppress you and get on top of you in seconds, and it's genuinely kind of ridiculous to me. I have always said that the Nurse just needs one slight nerf, just one nerf, is that if she's stunned or blinded, she loses her tokens and has to refresh them. That's the only thing I think what she can use to kind of pull her back a little bit, but other than that, you just can't beat her in terms of her power level. Next up, Myers. Oh my God. Okay, so here's the thing. Myers is very add-on, perk, and map reliant. And his rework made him stronger than he used to be. But I think that the biggest problem with Myers is, there's a few things. I need to do a full video on his rework, but the biggest problem with Myers is very similar to most M1 killers, because he still even though he has the dash, he still plays a lot like an M1 killer for most of the match. But most of his problem is the time sink, right? Myers has a massive time sink. Massive time sink. He has to spend so long building his stock up. And then it's not like you build the stock up, you get to that tier 3 where he's got that little dash attack that breaks pallets, which is great, by the way. I don't understand why Pig doesn't have that. And it's an insta-down. All great features, I guess, but the time it takes you to get to that point is the problem, right? We're going to talk about Oni a little bit later, but Oni does this so much better where, yes, he has to keep regaining his power throughout the match, but he gets a passive regain of that power, right? The more survivors stay injured, the more resources you get. Whereas Myers, you have to continuously stop your forward motion and stalk survivors to get that power. And that's just too much, right? So he needs perks to slow down the game. He needs perks to help his chase. He needs add-ons to help boost his abilities to not be as crap. And when you finally get to that tier 3 lunge, it doesn't really matter that much because it's just simply not strong enough. Like, yes, it's an insta-down. Yes, it's a pretty big lunge, but it's got a long wind-up time. It's very easy to predict. And if you've got any kind of pallets around, which you're going to, because in the fucking current state of the game, there's pallets absolutely fucking everywhere, then you just, you don't get to do that much. Like, yeah, you're breaking the pallets with your lunge, which is great, and that's keeping him at the top of D tier, but I seriously think that the massive time sink that is happening with him is simply too much to really effectively put him in the C tier. I think he's missing Missing so much that he's just a little bit. And I don't really know what I would give him outside of maybe one, allowing you to switch between Stalker and Pursuer mode when tier 3 is ready, instead of just being locked to Pursuer mode. But also 2, I would probably give him like a little bit less wind up time on his lunge, or I would probably do something. I would do something to make his stalk somewhat passive, maybe. I'm not sure. I think I have to take a lot of time to actually look and play him more than I have. I've played a few games. I played like 10 games on him. But I have to like take a lot more time than what I'm currently taking to really think about what he needs. But I know what he doesn't have, and what he doesn't have is the consistency to be able to work as well as he's supposed to. I just don't think this rework did what they wanted it to do, and we unfortunately lost a lot of thematics with this rework, and I don't think that we got much in return, but again, that's for a full video down the road. Next up is the Hagatha. Dude, God, she's just so bad. She's just so bad. Okay, so what stops Hag from being F tier is that she's not useless. But I'm trying to figure out the best way to phrase this, right? Even though she's not useless because she has the teleport, which is really good, she's so slow. Her time sync is one of the things you're going to notice that's common between the D and F tiers is the time sync, right? I'm going to use that phrase a lot, time sync. It takes time for this character to get going. And the biggest issue with her time sync is, one, she's 4.4. So her chase is just dog shit. Her chase is crap, right? You have no projectile, you have no projectile, no dash, no super long lunge, you have nothing to help in your chases. The only thing you can possibly do is set a trap at the loop and hope the survivor stays there. But similar to Trapper, if you're trying to set a trap at a loop, they're just gonna fuck off in another direction. So she needs perks to help with her chase. She needs perks to slow down the game. She needs something to speed her up. She needs add-ons to fix the ranges and the teleport speeds and all of this other stuff. She needs so much to work for her. And on top of that, much similar to Trapper, if the survivors aren't stupid, then you're not doing anything. All of these long time investments for very little payoff is a problem. Because at the end of the day, her teleport range is finite. So if you're on big maps, you're not able to teleport across the map. If you are in the middle of a chase and your traps are getting triggered left and right, there's nothing that you can really do to stop that from happening. If you drop that chase, teleport over here, but they've got one of the 50 million pallets that exist in the game currently, what are you going to do about that? The answer is fucking cry. You're going to cry. Hag is just so bad, right? I firmly believe by the end of this tier list, she will be bottom 5 killers in the game. She is so unbelievably trash, and I can't. I just can't with this fucking killer, man. She needs help. She needs so much help. Next up is Doctor. So here's the thing with Doctor. I'm gonna put him here for now. And the reason we're gonna talk about this for a second, and I might move him in a minute. For right now, I think Doctor's gonna be at the bottom of B tier. Kind of like close to being the gatekeeper of C. Doctor is so good at anti-loop, but unfortunately, his lack of map presence is a problem. And that's probably like his biggest weakness, right? The Doctor has no ability. I think C tier might actually be better. He's got high perk reliance. He needs perks to slow the game down because he doesn't have the ability to be across the map. he does not have high add-on reliance. His add-ons are fine. I think you could play Doctor without add-ons and he'd be fine. Although, yeah, his map reliance is pretty high. I think the lack of map presence is the biggest issue. I think the lack of map presence is what puts him below Wraith. Because he doesn't have a lot of map presence, Doctor just does not have the capability to fully, what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't have the capability to fully engage with the game, and it causes him to have to lock down an area. And locking down areas is not necessarily a bad thing, but if you end up on a map that doesn't have a decent 3-gen to it, or that doesn't have or you can't get there in time, it's a huge issue, right? So I really think that the biggest problem with Doctor is always going to be the lack of map presence that he has. While his anti-loop is really good, the palette density doesn't affect him that much. It still affects him, but like I said, I think the inability to have a good map pressure is what stops him from being that great. Huntress, how the mighty have fallen. Huntress used to be a solid A tier killer, in my opinion. But I think with the current state of the game, she's very similar to Doctor. She doesn't have the map presence she needs, but hatchets are just such a good chase power that I think she's still in the low B, right? Like very, very low B. Huntress has such a good chase that if she had any kind of map, if she was like 4.6 and maybe like, I don't want to give her more hatchets, but if she was like 4.6, she would still be B. I don't think there's really anything you could do to Huntress without reworking her that would take her out of B tier. Like, the game is just too fast right now. She needs slowdown perks. She needs add-ons to make her throws faster. Her map dependence is pretty high. Dude, I don't even know if she's B. Oh my god, man. I don't even know if she's B right now. She might be C, dude. This is so bad. The state of the game is just so awful at the current moment that it's so hard. Like, there's so many killers that were B tier when I was playing that right now they just don't have enough to work with, right? The palette density is just so bad. Gens fly too fast. You can't do a hit and run play. Her hit and run play style is also like really shit, right? Like, her hit and run play style is also like suffered significantly, so she can't get a lot of damages in, which is what her hatchets depend on. Oh man, yeah, she might be worse than Doctor. Someone in the chat is saying like D tier. Oh man, she might actually be D tier. Heals happen too fast. Generators pop too fast. The fact she has to go to lockers to reload is a problem. Oh, man. Oh, she might actually be D tier. Right? Because, like, she just doesn't have anything. She's got a good chase, but because of the fact that you can't do a hit and run playstyle, you can't apply that kind of pressure anymore. Her chase isn't as fast as it used to be either. Oh, this is bad, man. This is seriously, dude. Oh, this is bad. This is actually really bad. I'm gonna put her in high D. I'm gonna try to put her in fucking high D if this damn thing would let me. Anyway, yeah, I think chat's right. I think Huntress might be D tier. She's just one step away from being useless. It's very similar to Wraith, where her biggest playstyle was the hit and run, keeping everybody injured so you had fast chases. But with Wraith, at least you can like get back on somebody really fast. or if you are doing a quote hit and run play style, you can go and interrupt heals and stuff really fast. Huntress just doesn't have that, right? And unless you're like a top tier, god tier Huntress with fucking orbitals and shit, and even then you're still so fucking map reliant. I think her map reliance is what drops her, dude. It's so crazy. Oh my god, she's so bad. She's so fucking terrible now. Oh, dude. Oh, the current state of the game is so bad. Okay. All right. Bubba is... I'm struggling whether or not I want to put Bubba above Myers, right? Because on the one hand, Myers has the stealth and the smaller tear radius that allows his insta-down to be more effective. But Bubba has a more consistent camping and slugging potential than Myers does. But they're both just really bad. I think Bubba cleans up pallets a little bit better, which gives him more opportunity in the anti-loop and chase. And his slugging is really good. I'm going to put him above Myers just because I think his slugging potential is a little bit stronger, and that provides you a little bit more pressure than Myers can do. But it's really close, man. It's really, really, really close. I think that at the end of the day, you can swap these two. I think they're very interchangeable in their place. I just don't... I've always said that Bubba was basically an M1 killer, right? And that's realistically what it boils down to. Bubba is an M1 killer. He is insanely just... He's not that great, right? I think his only saving grace is his slugging potential, and he deals with pallets a little bit faster than Myers does. Because I think he recovers faster from the pallet break. I would have to look at the numbers. It feels like he recovers faster. And you have more of a snowball potential with Bubba, but it's not enough to really matter that much. It really isn't. I just don't. I feel like Bubba is just, he's one step from being useless, man. He can't function because he doesn't have that all-important map pressure. He doesn't have the same time sink as Myers, so I would say that it's a little bit better, but again, not by much. You can, like I said, you can switch these two if you want. I'm not strict on whether or not one is better than the other. They're pretty equal in my opinion, but they're still both so bad. I am prepared to call Freddy my first B tier killer. Freddy has the map pressure with his Gen Teleport. He has the diversity of anti-loop and chase with his Hinder and Dream Pallets. He has fairly solid pressure ability, right? Which is great, right? Compared to he used to be like close to F tier. Freddy used to be absolute dog shit. I think Freddy's biggest issue is that his teleport cooldown is kind of long. So he really doesn't have a lot of, he really doesn't have a huge map presence, but he's still got enough of one to matter. His perk reliance is about, I'd say, mid to low. His add-on reliance is mid to low. His map reliance is non-existent. He can play on any map. I think what also holds him back is the amount of ways that you can be woken up, right? So you have the clocks, missing a skill check, getting hooked. There's so many ways to wake up that I don't think your other survivors can wake you up. That it can sometimes make his power feel a little bit like you're trudging through mud. But I do think that the sleep is consistent enough, the teleport is consistent enough, the dream pallets and dream snare is consistent enough, that he is way better than I think a lot of people give him credit for. I would actually move his perk reliance probably closer to mid instead of low mid, because he does need something to help him deal with the massive amount of pallets. But because he can pressure gens very well, that's very, very, very effective. And so, yeah, I would say Freddy is in the B, probably close to high B. I think he's in the high B tier. I think by the time we end this, he's going to be very close to being A tier. I think that if they just, I think if they gave him the ability to like teleport to totems or something like that would be kind of funny. Or if they like removed like one way to be woken up, right? Like maybe you can't miss a skill check, or shorten the or lengthen the clock spawn, something like that. They give him like one thing, he goes into A tier. So I think that's pretty good. The piggy. I'm trying to decide if she's better than Doctor. She's definitely better than Huntress, but is she better than Doctor? Pig's anti-loop is really good. I think the ambush has gotten enough buffs to be decent. She doesn't have the map presence necessary to be that impactful. She's got a high perk reliance, high add-on reliance. But her traps do provide a decent amount of slowdown. I would say probably better than Huntress. Better than Huntress, worse than Doctor, not quite C tier. Dude, this palette density is just fucking so many killers. The palette density update's a big problem, but also just the inability. So while her reverse bear traps are pretty good at slowing down the game a lot, and side quest pig is a decent build, but again, we're taking into account how reliant they are on perks and add-ons. The problem with pig is that her slowdown requires downs, and her downs aren't consistent. And if you don't have information, if you don't have something to slow the game down to get to those downs, to provide more slowdown, I'm going to put her below Myers. No, above Myers. I'm put her above Myers. I think her slowdown and her anti-loop is above Myers. So that's where we're going to put her. God, there's so many killers in the D tier, man. It's just so, this update is just so bad. It's just so fucking bad. Holy shit. Okay. Clown is here. Clown is very strong in the 1v1. Extremely strong. Probably one of the best M1 chase powers in the entire game. But that doesn't stop the fact that he is slow as shit, that he still needs perks to help him with like harder loops like Shack, a lot of the main buildings. Palette density is still a problem for him because, like, yes, he can play this singular loop really well, but in the current state of the game, you've got 4 loops that are exactly like this one right next to each other, right? So you're playing this safe loop, and you're really good at it. You're really good at this singular safe loop. But the moment that 2 more safe loops spawn right next to each other, and the survivors can just jump from loop to loop using those pallets, your power drops significantly. So while he's got a really, really strong chase power, he doesn't have the map presence necessary. I see in the chat we're saying add-ons he has map presence, but again, remember what I said in the beginning. If we have to tack on that qualifier, if we have to say, oh, he's good, but we have to do these add-ons, that drops his power level a bit, right? So I believe firmly that he's add-on reliant, perk reliant, and a little bit of RNG map reliance, because of the fact that if you have too many pallets close to each other, he has to start breaking them. In the past, I think Clown was a lot better because he didn't have to break as many pallets. He was much better at outplaying those. But in the current state of the game where the pallets are every fucking where, he just doesn't have that kind of strength. And so that's fit kind of snugly in the C tier where he's at. I think the only thing stopping Spirit from being S tier is a giant map presence. While Spirit is not the same powerhouse she used to be, and the pallet density has definitely dropped her power level, I think her chase is so oppressive that it's very difficult to say that she's not good, right? Getting from one place to another is her problem, right? Because her phase doesn't last as long. Her phase doesn't last as long as it would need to for her to have a decent map presence. But that's why I think by the end of this, she'll probably be closer to the bottom of A tier. But I still believe that she is strong enough in her chase that I don't think you can put her in B tier with how strong her chase is. Like, that's how oppressive her chase potential is that I seriously do not think you could put her in B tier. Her chase potential almost makes the lack of map presence a non-factor, but not quite. I would say that her map reliance is very similar to Billy's if she's got like a lot of 2-floor maps, or if she has a lot of maps with stuff in her way that she has to go around. Like Hawkins Lab is really bad for her. Hawkins Lab is extremely bad. She does have about a mid to high add-on reliance, but she's got a very low perk reliance. And so I think that her chase is just strong enough that it makes up for a lot of her weaknesses. Okay, next up, this fucking thing. God, I hate the Legion. Legion Legion has high perk reliance, high add-on reliance, high map reliance, but most importantly, the Legion is reliant on the survivors grouping up. If the survivors are smart enough to 1, not stay grouped together, 2, not waste time healing, and 3, not mend in the middle of the frenzy going off, then let's be completely honest with ourselves. He's not fucking doing anything. He's so shit. And the worst part about the Legion to me is that he's also fucking boring. You mend. And then when you're done mending, you get into M1 chases that last for fucking ever because there's a pallet around every corner. The Legion is incredibly useless. He is so bad. Actually, I am so close to... What is stopping me from putting him in F tier? What is actually stopping me from putting Legion in F tier? I'm trying to think. Is it the slowdown? Is it the slowdown of like, if survivors start healing? Is that it? Right? Is there anything in the base kit? I guess it's the mend. I guess the mend is like the only thing stopping me from putting this fucking loser in the F tier, man. The free injuries. Somebody in chat said free injuries. We'll go with that. Free injuries and the mend is like the only thing stopping this motherfucker from getting in the F tier. He's so fucking close to F tier. He's so bad. He's so fucking bad, bro. They're so horrible. Oh my god, dude. Legion needs a fucking rework, to be honest. I don't even know if buffs would help this motherfucker. I think Legion needs a fucking rework, to be completely real with you. Holy shit, I hate this fucking killer. Next up is the Plague. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I've been sitting, so the reason this tier list took so long is because there are a few killers where I've been struggling to figure out where to put them. And Plague used to be such a solid A tier. Like such a really solid A tier. But I think palette density has fucked her too much. I'm gonna put her in B. Plague's biggest problem, right? Plague's biggest issue is the fact that she cannot move around the map well. She's got one of the best projectiles in the game, but that projectile is reliant on survivors cleansing your sickness. She's got incredibly strong map presence in a different way that she keeps every survivor broken, which ups the anxiety, basically, right? I think a lot of people tend to forget about the mental game, the mental aspect of Dead by Daylight. If you're broken, you are less likely to commit to gens inside of a terror radius, right? You are less likely to take risks that you normally would, which would help out. In that regard, however, she is very susceptible to pre-running. So her reliance on the survivors doing what she needs them to do has, coupled with the palette density to knock her out of A tier. The reason I don't think she belongs in C tier is because that constant broken is still so powerful, and her projectile is one of the strongest in the game, but she does have a reliance on perks that slow the game down enough for her to take the time to actively go after the survivor. She needs the time to infect things. She needs the time to go get her projectile. She needs the add-ons to extend the duration that you have that projectile. But outside of that, I think she is strong enough to compete, but not strong enough to be one of the best killers in the game. And I think by the end of this, we'll see her to the lower end of B, bordering on the C tier, just because of the fact that there's too much reliance on other outside factors that you don't have enough agency as the Plague, in my opinion. Do I think Ghostface is better than Legion? That is my question. No, I do not. Honestly, do I think that Ghostface is better than Trapper? Who has the worst time sync? Ghostface does, right? Because Trapper starts with 2 traps, which can be used for like slight anti-loop. Ghostface is worse than Trapper. Dude, Ghostface is just, he's so terrible. He's genuinely awful. He's too slow. Pallet density is too much. Gens fly too fast. He has no power. He can be taken out of his power by just being looked at. And it doesn't even have to be a survivor that's like standing, right? If you slug a survivor and try to like stealth away to leave them on the ground for a little bit, they can reveal you. If you hook a survivor, you can be revealed. You can be revealed by a survivor who is currently being dragged into the sky by the entity. You can literally be revealed by a survivor who's being sacrificed at the current moment. Ghostface is so shit, man. He has super high perk reliance, super high add-on reliance, super high map reliance, super high fucking survivors not being fucking stupid reliance. He has nothing. He is potentially one of only 2 killers in this game without a power. He is potentially one of only 2 killers in this game without a power. I genuinely believe that the developers hate Ghostface. He needs so much fucking work. He needs so much help, bro. So much help. Like, you have to, dude, I watched this Ghostface guide like about a year ago, I think. And this dude was like, yeah, bro, Ghostface is actually really strong. So we have to do this loadout. We have to bring these add-ons. We have to be on this map. But once you get on there, then you have to like you can't even like take direct pathing, right? Like with someone like Wraith, you like go bing bong, and then you just like run straight to the gen. And then the survivor's like, shimmer. Oh no. And you go bong bong, and you come out and go whack, right? With Ghostface, you have to like fucking take this fucking hiking trail ass fucking route to generators. It's so bad. He's so fucking bad, dude. Oh my god, this killer is dog shit. All right, the Demogusy, where the fuck? The Demogorgon, better than Clown, worse than Wraith? Better than Clown, worse than Wraith. Yes. No? Yes. Is he better than Clown? Better than Bubba, worse than Huntress? I don't think. I think his teleport is no, his teleport takes so long. His teleport's similar to Hag. It takes too long to set up. Do we think he's worse than Huntress? You might be right on that. Oh god, dude, this is making me sad. Like in the previous years when I've done tier lists, right? I had this nice little bell curve that kind of evened out around the B and C tier. But the current state of the game is just so bad, man. The current state of the game Gens fly so fast. Pallet density is so good. We can't tunnel as well as we used to because of all the second chance perks. Even like just chasing, right? We've got the dead hards. You've got flashlight saves. Pallet density, again, is a big problem, right? Gens flying too fast. 70-second hook timers. 15 seconds of borrowed time. Like, there's just so much working against so many of the killers in this game. And so many of them are fallen, right? Like, Huntress used to be A tier. Demogorgon used to be B tier, right? Like, these are just, I mean, Wraith used to be B tier, in my opinion. Like, it's just, this, Plague used to be A tier. It's so, like, this game has just become so much of a, how fast can I get to the survivors? How often can I keep them in a weakened state? And how slow can I make the gens, right? Without those tools, it really brings down that power level. And Demogorgon, I think, is a very good example of this. Demogorgon used to be a very good middle tier killer, right? He used to be like the main. He's right here. He's in the middle. This is where he belongs. And his problem now is that he doesn't have as good a chase as he used to. He doesn't have as good map presence because, much like Hag, he has to walk around setting up his teleport points, and then they can be fucking destroyed, right? They can be destroyed. You can't recall your portals, so if you set all of them and then no one destroys them, and they're just like, you have just a portal off in a corner of the map where there's no generators or anything, you're fucked. You're actually fucked because there's no portal refresh for some goddamn reason, right? So this, dude, it's just not good, man. It's just not good. This tier list is actually starting to make me so sad. It's starting to make me really, really sad. I think Oni fell out of A tier. The main reason is that he has a pretty high perk reliance. Add-on reliance, not so much. Map reliance, yeah, yes and no. Perk reliance is the issue because he needs things to keep the survivors injured longer. And in a game state where survivors are healing in 3 seconds off the hook with Resurgence, 8 seconds with Will Make It, medkits flying fast, pallet density does deny his first hit. Chad is correct on that one. All of these things combined make him feel very rough, I think. I genuinely feel like Oni is just no longer A tier. I feel like he's no longer A tier because his time sink used to not be that big of a problem, right? You injure the first survivor, you chase a different one, you have 2 survivors injured. That usually gives you enough blood orbs to work with. But because of the pallet density, it makes the first hit take longer. So he has a reliance on chase perks. And then he probably needs like a little, like at least one slowdown. And then he needs information. So it's like your perk reliance is so high. While your add-on and map reliance aren't really that bad, your perk reliance is high enough to keep you out of A tier. And it feels so bad for that, man. If they just reverse this fucking pallet density, this tier list would look so much different. The pallet density is one of the biggest problems right now, man. Fuck. DeathSlinger. Chase is better than Clowns. Map presence is too low. His chase is really good. His chase is really, 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 really good. I just don't think he has the map presence needed. Here's the question we need to ask ourselves, right? Because I see Chad is saying above Wraith. Is DeathSlinger's chase better than Wraith's map presence? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Is DeathSlinger's chase better than Wraith's map presence? Because DeathSlinger has no map presence. He has nothing in terms of getting from place to place. But his chase, that 'cause 24 meters is his range on his shot, right? That's really good. Or is it 20? It's 20 meters. 20 meters is the projectile range. I think we'll put him above Wraith. I think we will put him above Wraith. I think that his chase and anti-loop is good enough to make up for the lack of map presence. I can talk. I think that his chase and his anti-loop is better than Wraith's map presence, and I think that is really the key factor in deciding how strong he is as a killer. Which I think gives him a good amount of an edge. So we'll definitely put him above Wraith. But he still has the problem with map presence. He doesn't have a lot of it, so he needs perks to slow the game down. He doesn't need as much add-ons to help his reload speed as he used to. But they're still nice to have. And I think that he has like a very, it's not like that prevalent, but I think that his add-on reliance is a little bit low. And of course he has the high map reliance that stops him from, you know, double floor maps, indoor maps. If there's it's just not great. It's not great in that regard. Pyramid Head is hard to pin down, but I think I'm prepared to put him in low B only because his cages deny so much bullshit, right? Unless they changed it since I left. But you don't get base kit borrowed time. You don't get DS. You don't get deliverance. They do gain endurance. Okay. So the endurance got added. They nerfed cages. So you still get DS and stuff like that? You don't. Okay. So you don't get DS. You don't get deliverance. You still get base kit, but you do get the base kit borrowed time. We don't get will make it. So he slows down healing speeds. He gets rid of a lot of second chance perks. Because I don't think you get Dead Hard either, do you? I don't think Dead Hard activates on a cage. I'm trying to remember. You don't, right. Okay, so he turns off a lot of second chance perks. So he turns off a lot of I would say that his anti-loop is fine. But we're back to that all-important map presence. So he needs perks to slow the game down. He needs perks to help his chase. Because his anti-loop is fine, but his chase is not that great. Because the delay on his M2 shot is very big, and he needs add-ons to help. His add-ons, ever since they did the add-on pass on him, I feel like they went from having him have the worst add-ons in the game to giving him some of the best ones, but then they nerfed him to compensate, and so it's just, it's not that great, man. It's not that great. I'm almost tempted. I think the only thing keeping him out of C tier is the fact that he can turn off so many of the second chance and perks that trigger on being hooked. I think if it wasn't for that, if they nerfed that, right? If they made cages count as like, oh, now you get DS and everything, I would put him in C tier. But like, he also prevents pallet saves. He prevents flashlight saves. So yeah, but it's easy to corral survivors into the trail, KMD. It's very easy to corral survivors into the trail. When I play Pyramid Head, I very, very often chase them into the trail. I don't think it's that hard to apply Condemned. Or Torment. It's called Torment. I don't think it's that hard to apply Torment. Okay. Second S tier killer. We're going to have one more by the end of this. And I already know that chat's going to disagree with me on my third S tier killer. But they can cope. Okay. The only thing that stops Blight from being better than Nurse is obstacles affect him, right? Pallets, he got that token recharge thing on breaking pallets. So the pallet density has weakened Blight significantly. But he's still a problem, right? He's still very fucking fast. Once you understand bump logic, he's extremely fucking strong. He's extremely strong. But things like multiple floors, window vaults, the pala density, these are all still problems for Blight. And they're just enough of problems that it prevents him from being better than Nurse, right? But his perk reliance isn't high. Doesn't really need perks. Doesn't really need add-ons. His map reliance is about the same as Nurse's, I would say, right? While Nurse suffers on bigger maps, Blight suffers on congested maps. So it's a fair trade-off. Chat is providing arguments for why they think Blight is better than Nurse. At the end of the day, you can almost interchange these two. I think that the weaknesses that one has, the other has in strength, and the strengths that one has, the other has in weaknesses. And I think that realistically speaking, there's just no argument that these two are two of the top two killers in the game. I think that Blight is slightly weaker than Nurse, but it is such a minute slight weakness that it's almost like what I was saying with the Billy Myers thing earlier before we got to Pig, where you can probably interchange these two either way, and I just don't think there's much argument there to be had. The twins. You guys might think I'm crazy. I think the twins is very high A. I think the twins is fucking insane, bro. I genuinely believe that the twin, if you don't think the twins are good, I don't think that you've played enough twins. I don't think that you've like put enough effort into learning these killers, man. Because they're just so strong. They really don't care about perks. You can put some add-ons on them, but they don't really care that much. Map reliance, don't really give a shit. They have such a big map presence. They have such a big map presence, and their pressure is insane, right? Because they are hands down the best slugging killer in the game. They are hands down the best slugging killer in the game, right? Like, there's just no one better. Victor's chase is almost unbeatable, right? The only thing that stops them from being better than Billy is they have a small time sink. Small, right? They need just enough time in the beginning of the match to get at least 2 injuries to start their snowball. Once that's done, they're almost as strong as the Hillbilly. If they didn't have that small time sink, they might even be stronger than Billy. It's just that little time sink. Once that's over, them and Billy, interchangeable. Very much interchangeable. Yeah, like Ambrosia said, Ambrosia is our resident twin mains. They also are, it's guaranteed injuries. So it literally is, it's a neck and neck between twins and Billy. And I genuinely think that if they didn't need that small injury time sink in the beginning, they would be either stronger than Billy or as strong as Billy. So yeah, twins is fucking crazy, bro. Trickster is dog shit. Needs slowdown perks. Add-on reliance, not that big. Map reliance, extremely high. Tall maps hurt you. He has no map presence. Indoor maps hurt you. Double floor maps hurt you. Tall loops hurt you. He's so slow. Dude, he's just bad, man. He's bad. He's got a bigger time sink to getting injuries. Oh god, he's just awful, man. He's just awful. He's slow. He's got a time sink to his injuries. He's countered by map geometry. Like, so much of the map geometry. Yeah, he does. What do you mean he doesn't? He has to hit you with 6 knives. And if you have any obstacles by you and you're paying any amount of attention, he just doesn't get that. He doesn't get that. His main event got nerfed. It doesn't come up nearly as often as it used to be, so he doesn't even have his camping anymore. His blades decay so slowly, but it still takes time. It still takes time to get there, man. Like, okay, so even if his blades had 0 decay, let's just say they had 0 decay, you can still put so much shit in between you and the Trickster. You put so much shit in between you and the Trickster, and what does he do? He trudges his 4.4 ass over to you. Like, it's just, he's just, his map reliance is just way too fucking high. What maps is he good on? Cockwind Farms? Maybe Gashaven? Like, what maps is he good on? Every map has, I mean, you just crouch behind a rock. Now what's he doing? Now he's got to walk after your bitch ass. Like, he's just not good, man. I'm sorry. Like, this is the one time where I'm gonna staunchly disagree that I feel like you're overrating his knives. He's just got, there's so much fucking shit in his way. It's just, any map with any amount of clutter fucks him up. Like, when I came back, I was playing Survivor. I played against, I think, like 7 or 8 Tricksters. Not a single one fully killed me by the end of the game. I don't even think I got more than 1 hook state, because all I did was just look at them and just put stuff between me and them. That's all I had to do. And he couldn't do anything. He couldn't do anything. I tap fire, KMD. Spam blades is gonna fuck you. You're gonna run out of ammo. I tap fire. I make sure that I'm aiming my knives. Yeah, he's just bad. He's better than all these guys. I don't think you can justify putting him against Huntress. Huntress causes too much consistent damage. Huntress is too consistent. He's not. We can put him above Demogorgon, but I ain't putting him above Huntress. There's no way he's better than Huntress. His damage isn't consistent enough. No way he's above Huntress. Nemesis. Unironically... Do I think that Nemesis is better than Slinger? He's definitely worse than Pyramid Head, but is he better than Slinger? I don't think so. God, his palette shredding is so good, right? But he's got the time sink of getting the tier 2, but the time sink isn't as big as it used to be because of the buffs that they gave him. I want to say he's like low B. I want to say he's low B. It's so hard. It's so hard because Slinger still suffers from palette density. Palette density is still a problem, but it's not as big of a problem for Slinger as other killers below him. It's so hard for me to decide if he's better than Slinger. I feel like he's not. I feel like he's not. I feel like he's slightly worse than Slinger. I feel like he's slightly worse than Slinger. Hey, palette density just doesn't affect him. He just doesn't give a fuck. He does not care about palettes. Which gives him a leg up. It says, you know what, chat? No, I can't put Slinger in B tier because he's too slow. But I feel like Nemesis belongs in B tier because he fucks palette density so hard. But he also doesn't really have map presence. No, we're going to keep him where he's at. We're going to keep him where he's at. His ability to fuck palette density is great, but he still doesn't have map presence. He still needs slowdown perks. His add-on reliance isn't that high, but his map reliance is still pretty high. Yeah, I think that's where we'll put him. Pinhead. I think the box constantly keeping a survivor busy is a heavily underrated aspect of Pinhead, and it's one that a lot of people don't really notice. But at the end of the day, Pinhead has good chase, good anti-loop. His box is unironically a form of map presence because you're keeping a survivor busy most of the time, but he can't patrol gens that well, so he needs something for slowdown. He does have a bit of an issue with the pallet density. It's not huge, but it is an issue. So he does need something to help him in chase. But I think that his chase is good enough that you don't have to do that. I would say the problem lies in it. Yes, I was about to say that, KMD. The problem lies in his add-on reliance. I think that Pinhead does have a bit of add-on reliance going for him, and so that's a bit of an issue. That's a bit of a problem that we really have to think about. But other than that, I just don't think he's weak enough to be in C tier. I guess like now would be a good time to go over this, right? F tier is useless. D tier is one step away from useless. C tier is mid. B tier is pretty good and viable. A tier is one step away from near perfect, and S tier is near perfect. That is the way my tiers work, right? That is the way my tiers work. That is the way that I'm judging all of these. So that's, I feel like I haven't been explaining that very well. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say that Pinhead is pretty good. Pretty good. Artist. I feel like her and Plague are interchangeable. I feel like they have like very similar things where their pressure is very strong. You know, Plague has the constant broken and anxiety, where Artist has the constant threat of cross map injuries. So I would say Artist is slightly better than Plague. Her add-on reliance is a little bit above mid. Her perk reliance is a bit above mid, but her map reliance isn't that huge. Double floor maps or maps with high elevation are a bit of a problem, but not insanely bad. She doesn't care about pallet density. Don't think you're getting cross maps anymore. I mean, if you know how to slingshot and shotgun, you still can, but that's a very hard skill to learn. That being said, I think it's not too bad. I don't think it's too bad. I just don't think that she has the same amount of reliable map presence that Freddy and Oni do, and that's why I can't put her above those two. But I think she's still really good. Sadako's map presence is one of the best in the game. Condemn is very strong and not as easy to shake off as it used to be. It is easy to shake off, but not as easy to shake off as it used to be. Yeah, we'll put Onryo here. I think Sadako's map presence is one of the best in the game. Condemn is not as easy to shake off as it used to be. It's still easy to shake off, but not like, you know, fuck you, you're just never gonna see it pop up. And that Insta-Mori does a lot to help. Her manifest is heavily underutilized by the community. I don't personally know how to use her manifest that well, her manifest, demanifest, mind games that well. But I do know that once you know that, it's very good. However, she is still an M1 killer. She still suffers from pallet density. So she doesn't really need slowdown perks as much as other killers in this tier, but she does need chase perks and she does need info perks. And sure, her add-on reliancy is probably mid to high. So I would say that I would say Onryo, or Sadako fits pretty comfortably like where she's at, right? I think that the game is too fast. I think that the Condemn, while great and not as bad as it used to be, is still a little bit too easy to shake off. So you're not really under that threat that much. And I think that she's way too reliant on perks and add-ons for sure. We make it to Dredge, and I feel like, personally, maybe I'm crazy, I feel like Dredge is bottom of A. Very close to top of B. Good map presence, good anti-loop, not that great of chase. Chase is where Dredge really suffers. Nightfall is very strong. The ability to pressure gens is very strong. But he needs slowdown. He needs time to get going. So his perk reliance, I would say low to mid perk reliance. Add-on reliance, probably pretty high. Definitely does need a little bit more base kit buffs for his add-ons. Map reliance, yes. I feel like his map reliance is high, right? I feel like you're so at the mercy of locker spawns. I think being at the mercy of locker spawns might drop him too much. I think because you're at the mercy of locker spawns, that's a big problem. So I think we need to put him like way back here, maybe. Like I don't think he's that weak, right? I don't think he's mid. I don't think he's mid. I just don't. I feel like he has too much going for him, right? I feel like he has too much going for him to be mid. I feel like maybe his map reliance is super fucking high. Like his map reliance is you're just at the mercy of locker spawns. You're so at the mercy of locker spawns. His chase isn't that good, but his anti-loop is so good. Does the pallet density really matter to him? Does the pallet density really matter to Dredge? Right? I don't think the pallet density matters. But gens are very fast still, but he has the ability to pressure gens. I just don't know if I can call him mid. I just don't know if I can call him mid. I can maybe put him bottom of B, but I don't think he's so weak that he's mid. I just can't see it, right? I can't see him being mid. I just can't. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I just can't see him being mid. I'm sorry. Like KMD is my resident Dredge main, so I'm trying to like take his opinion into account for sure. I can't put him in mid. There's just nothing that's going to convince me that he's a mid-tier killer. I think he's good. I think he is good. Wesker is a mid-tier killer. It might honestly be below Slinger. I used to put Wesker in A because his chase was really good. But I think that the pallet density has kind of fucked this man. Like, yeah, he can vault the pallets. Sure. But it's a very similar problem to, who was I talking about earlier? Where I was talking about, like, you can outplay pallets really well, but if there's multiple safe pallets next to each other, you know, you suffer. Was it Bubba? It might have been Bubba, or it might have been Pig. It was one of those two. I don't remember. But, Clown. It was Clown, right. I think Wesker suffers very similar to that. Like, you can vault this pallet, but if there's 3 other pallets, right? Like, if it's 3 other pallets, who gives a fuck? You know, if you can vault the pallets. I think the pallet density kind of fucked him. Yeah, like, he's got good information, but KMD, if they fucking spray across the map, what are you going to do as Wesker, brother? Like, if you're in the bottom left corner of the map, and someone's over there and they go, psh, and you get Killer Instinct for 3 seconds, what's going to happen, right? You have to stop doing gens, but there's cases fucking everywhere, and the spray happens so quickly. Like, in that case, are we gonna put Nemesis higher? Because you have to stop and go psh, like that? Like, I just don't think that's enough, man. I just don't think it's enough. Like, Wesker's got really good chase. You know what I mean? Wesker's got really good chase. And like, bigger terror radius is very similar to what I was saying with Plague. Where it's like, hey, you know, if you're in that huge terror radius, that's like a big anxiety thing. But like, genuinely, genuinely, what does he actually do? Right? You can't tunnel anymore. If you down and you hit somebody and you hook someone, their infection resets, right? His chase is really, really good, but he doesn't have anything outside of that, right? And he's easy to pre-run because of the big terror radius, so you can easily get to a very good sharp tile, right? You get a sharp tile. I don't think he's good. I think he's middle of the road. I feel like he just doesn't have enough outside of his really good chase and burst potential. He's got good bursts, right? He bursts it, he comes, whop, whop, right? And then if you throw them outside of if you throw them into a dead zone, great, right? But he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough. He needs slowdown perks. He's got a little bit of add-on reliancy. He's very map reliant. He's very map dependent. I just can't put him in good. The Knight, on the other hand, I feel like has had a massive glow up, right? I want to put Knight here. I want to put him like, actually, I want to put Knight above Plague. I'm putting Knight above Plague. I don't give a fuck. You guys can argue with me, man. Listen, Knight can pressure the Djinns. His anti-loop is really good with Carfax. His ability to pressure 2 survivors at once is fucking insane. Like, the ability to be in 2 places at the same time is so fucking good, and I think it's underrated. I'm sorry. I think the ability to be in 2 places at once is so fucking strong, and on top of that, you get to choose the 2 places you are at once. It's not like Nemesis, where you're like, I hope my zombies can trudge their slow ass over there and do something. You know what I mean? Like, dude, if you're stalling with Jailer, yeah, but like, okay, so the best part about him, right? You put Jailer on this Djinn over here. That survivor's running that way. You're on this survivor, they're running that way. You've now got 2 survivors busy. The survivor being chased by Jailer is like, ah! The survivor you're chasing goes pallet drop. You swap Carfax, you break pallet, you get the injure or down. The survivor being chased by Jailer is nowhere near where they want to be. So you're effectively wasting so much goddamn time. Now, that being said, wasting time in of itself is not necessarily insane, right? Because if you're not doing anything with the waste of time, who cares? It's kind of like Pig, right? Like, yeah, we're wasting a shitload of time with reverse bear traps, but are we getting anything done? I think the Knight gets something done. They're also not being chased by Jailer anymore? Right, but KMD, it's not like the Jailer leaves them and then they insta transmission onto the fucking generator, right? They still gotta run back to where they were. They still gotta run back to where they fucking were, right? Dude, I just think he's good, man. I'm sorry. Like, I can't put him below Plague. I just can't put him below Plague. I think he's really good. I think he's a heavily underrated killer. Heavily underrated killer. Our third and final killer without a power. I hate this fucking killer, dude. I hate Skull Merchant so much. I fucking hate this killer, man. She's so shit. She's so goddamn shit. I'm gonna put her above Trapper, because at least she's got information and she's got that, you know, undetectable recall thing on demand. It's just so useless, dude. Her drones are just so fucking useless, man. I'm sorry. I tried, man. I tried. I had so many people tell me she's better than F tier, not better than D tier. I fucking tried. I played her 14 different ways. I went in and I tested all sorts of shit people told me to test, and she's just useless, man. Her power is worthless. It's worthless. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help you with anything. It's so crap. And much like Trapper and Ghostface and Legion and Hag, her power is so easily denied by the survivors. It's so easy to just not interact with her power at all and take her out of it and remove it from the game entirely that I just can't fucking see a world where she's higher than F tier. She's useless. She's fucking practically useless. Better than Trapper, better than Ghostface, worse than Legion. I'm sorry. She just sucks. She just fucking sucks. And it pisses me off that this used to be a killer that I would have put in the bottom of B, maybe high C. She wasn't that strong. She wasn't even that annoying. It's just everybody's got fucking first impression syndrome, and there are people who still DC against the Skull Merchant while her drones do fucking nothing. Singularity is unironically one of the best killers of the game. I struggle to figure out if I want to put him above Twins, below, or neck and neck. Very similar to Twins. Very, very similar to Twins. He would be close to being as strong as Hillbilly if he didn't have the slight, small time sink of setting up his cameras. Right? If he didn't have the small time sink of setting up his cameras, I think he would be above Hillbilly. Right? But it's such an insignificant time sink that he doesn't need slowdown perks. He doesn't need chase perks. He doesn't need... He's not really add-on reliant ever since his buff. They made one of the add-ons he needed base kit, so that's great. Map reliance... I think what puts him below Twins is he's got a slight map reliance. And that's indoor maps kind of fuck him. Because for some reason, can't tell you, you cannot put pods on ceilings or floors. Why you can't put pods on ceilings or floors, I don't fucking know. I don't know. If you could, I would put him above Twins. Right? I would put him above Twins. So, that's my only thing. That's my only thing. I would put him above Twins if you could put pods on ceilings and floors. But realistically, so close. So close. You'll notice that, like, the top 3 of A tier, they all have, like, that one small thing that gets them very close to being S. Right? Okay. I feel like Brand's gonna kill me for this one. Because I feel like wherever I'm about to put Xeno, Brand does not agree. He's not gonna kill me. Brand's too nice for that. But I feel like top of B tier. Good gen pressure. Good, very good gen pressure. Not really that map reliant. Good anti-loop, good chase. Well, not good chase. Good anti-loop. The turrets stop you from getting into A, for sure. Collision is a problem. Collision is a problem. But I think the turrets stop you from getting into A. You don't really need info perks. You don't really need slowdown perks. I mean, slowdown perks are nice. Well, you do need slowdown perks a little bit. I would say you need slowdown perks. You need something for chase. You need something for chase. So I feel like his information is good. His map presence is good. His anti-loop is good, but his chase isn't that good. Turrets really fuck you up if you're not careful. Maybe below Oni. Maybe below Oni, below Freddy. Below Artist, though? I don't think so. Definitely above Knight. Below Artist. I don't know. Yes? Yes, below Artist. Definitely below Artist. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this placement. Chucky, y'all ready to call me fucking insane? Dude, his stealth, I would argue Chucky's stealth is the best in the game. Third-person camera for Chuck spots. Very hard to detect. Slice and dice. I mean, they pulled back his speed, but they gave him more control. What the fuck? Dude, the other day I was playing against a Chucky and I was trying to play against him like old Chucky. So like when he started, he goes, ah! And I've like fucking ducked around a corner and he still hit me. He was just like, ah, fuck that. And just fucking curved and fucking stabbed the shit out of me, bro. I was like, what the fuck? And then I played him and it's so fucking, oh my God, the control is so amazing. Scamper is still a really good anti-loop tool. Even without manual Scamper's still really good. Dude, I think Chucky's good, man. I think his chase is good. I think his stealth is good. I think the only thing that holds him back from being like higher is that his chase doesn't end as fast as Spirits, and he doesn't have as much of a map presence, but his hidey-ho footsteps do cause a bit of anxiety. Not a lot, but a bit. And I talked about in Plague, anxiety is very important. It's very important to do that mental game. Unknown. Is Unknown stronger than Oni, Freddy, or Artist? I think I want to put him stronger than Artist, but I do not think he's stronger than Freddy. I want to put him weaker than Artist, maybe. Definitely above Xenomorph. 100% above Xenomorph. But he just doesn't... He needs chase. He needs chase power, right? His anti-loop's really good. His map presence, so he needs slowdown perks. He's got a little bit of perk reliance. He's got a little bit of add-on reliance. Map reliance, not entirely. I think that he's stronger on more maps than he's weaker on. Survivors need to pay a lot of attention to him, but I think that you're not overly reliant on the survivors being bad. You're more reliant on your own skill with his projectile. I think his projectile is the worst projectile in the game. But I think he's very strong. I think he's pretty strong, for sure. I think he's pretty good. Vecna, someone is going to call me bias. One of you are. And that's okay. Vecna's utility is so good. So good. He doesn't have a lot of perk reliance. He doesn't have a lot of add-on reliance. He does not have a huge map reliance. There's a knowledge check to go with playing against him, but realistically speaking, if you're a good enough Vecna, you're causing some damage. He's got so much available to him that it's really difficult to outplay a Vecna who understands how the character works. And I say this, tooting my own horn here. I'm gonna be a fucking egotist for a second. I say this as someone who's a really good Vecna player. And there are Vecna players better than me who are insanely oppressive. But what stops Vecna is that he doesn't have enough in his base toolkit to put him in A. He still is kind of low on his map presence. His fly, is great, but it's on a longer cooldown, so that makes it kind of difficult. Definitely a problem for him, but generally speaking, I would say Vecna is very, very, very close to being A tier. He's got a couple of weaknesses. His map presence isn't as good as you would like it to be. His chase isn't as good, but his anti-loop is really good. Between the Flight of the Damned and the Mage Hand, those are both really good. His information is good. So I think Vecna is just really good. I don't understand how to play Dracula, but I know enough about him to put him in the S tier. I think that a Dracula who understands this character is so incredibly deadly, right? Like, I don't think he has that many weaknesses. I think that like his main weakness is probably Hellfire's charge time. Like, dude, I'm sorry, like I'm struggling to think of like any real weaknesses the character has outside of your own skill level on the character, right? Like, I think outside of like a genuine skill issue, which I have, right? I think outside of a genuine skill issue, I don't think he's got that many weaknesses, right? Like, yeah, the cooldowns, right? The cooldowns are a little long. So that's what stops him from being above Blight and next to Nurse or whatever. But I don't think the cooldowns are long enough to keep him out of the S tier. I just don't think. You know? I don't think his cooldowns are long enough to keep him out of the S tier. I think they're long enough to stop him from being better than Blight and Nurse. But keeping him out of the S tier? I don't think so. I think he's just really good, man. I think he's really, really solid. Houndmaster, Mommy, Big Portia. You guys can argue with me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Dude, listen to me. Outside of map presence. Map presence is keeping her out of S. Her chase and anti-loop is so fucking good. Her chase and anti-loop is so fucking good, dude. She's very countable in a 1v1 chase. Stand still at pallet. I don't give a fuck about your pallets, bro. Listen. If I were to give her reliance, I would give her map and very, very, very low perk reliance. I think brutal strength is almost a must-have on Portia, right? I think brutal is almost a must-have on Portia. But it's very similar to saying that bamboozle is a must-have on Billy. Like, yes, that is like your one biggest perk you want, but is it really enough to say you're weak? You know what I mean? Is it really enough? Because though that dog, once you understand the mental game behind that dog, oh my God, dude. Once I learned how to mind game people with the dog, I started fucking people up, man. I started fucking. It is not the dog grabbing you itself that's the powerhouse. It is the threat of the dog grabbing you that is the powerhouse of this killer. She is a very mental killer. And once you understand that you're not really, like, yeah, you're going for grabs, but you're more going for that special kind of zoning that pisses survivors off and makes them feel like there's nothing they can do. And that is exactly what she excels at. She excels at that zoning. And it's so good. If she had better map presence, outside of that stupid fucking tracking shit that she has, if she had better map presence and a little bit less add-on reliance, I think she would be high A. I think she'd be closer to Spirit's level. Like, genuinely. Oh, Kaneki. Where do I put you? My problem with Kaneki is I don't understand this fucking killer. My problem with Kaneki is I don't understand how to play this goddamn killer. Like, objectively, I understand that he's strong. When I play him, he's fucking D tier. I feel like his map presence is so good. I feel like his map presence is so good. But I think that he's gotten too many nerfs to his pallet vault, and the pallet density is such a problem that I feel like the amount of effort you have to put into to get around pallets is too much. And so I would say he's probably got reliance on like a small reliance on perks, right? Because he needs something to help him with the pallet density, you know, brutal, fire up, whatever. But also, he's not really that map reliant. He's not really that add-on reliant. He is a little bit perk reliant, though. I would say he's slightly perk reliant. And of course, he can't down with the power. And you have to be very careful, because if you hit somebody with your power that's already injured, you just give them free distance for no reason. but I think he's better than Spirit. I think he's better than Spirit, worse than Singularity. I think the free injuries and map presence make him very deadly. Springtrap, what am I going to do with you? You're so underwhelming, dude. I was so underwhelmed by the Springtrap chapter as a whole. Good map presence. Good chase. Good anti-loop. Mid perk reliance. Low add-on reliance. Mid to high map reliance. All these factored in, I think I'm going to put him... Where the fuck are you going? I think I'm going to put him here. Below Slinger? There's no shot. There's no shot you think he's below Slinger. I'm sorry. There's no shot. There's no shot you think a guy that can get across the map in an instant, put a fucking axe in your back before you know he's there, and also, like, overcome fucking Dead Hard and shit for free is below Slinger. I just can't. I can't. I can't with you. I love you so much, KMD. I can't with you sometimes, man. His doors have a tell he's coming. If they're facing you... If they're facing you, they do, but they're not always facing the Djinns. And outside of that, when he comes out of those doors, he's fast as fuck. Then do a different Djinn. So what happens when you get down to the last 3 Djinns and all of them are ones where the door's facing away? Now what? Like, he's got a decent perk reliance. He needs information and he needs a little bit of slow. But dude, he just... I'm sorry, man. Like, I cannot put him below Slinger. There's no shot I can put him below Slinger. No shot I can put him below Slinger, man. I'm sorry. Like, there's just no shot. No shot. Put him below, not much less below. Put him below Freddy, Artist, Unknown, Xeno, Knight, Plague. Like, you want to put him in the C tier? You want to say he's like, what? Nah, he's good. He's a good killer. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think Springtrap is mid. There's no shot we think he's mid. No shot we think he's mid. Fuck this killer. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Fuck this killer, bro. Fuck this killer. I have played as and against the Krause, and she's genuinely insane. Dude, people told me. Listen to me. Listen to me. People told me that when she released, she was S tier, maybe above Nurse. And maybe, her falling from that grace has colored y'all's opinions. I don't know. But speaking as someone who came after her nerfs, who came after her release, this character is fucking insane. This character is so fucking insane. Like, what? Her chase is so fucking strong, dude. Once you get that vomit on someone, oh my god. You go, get right back on them, you come up before they get anywhere, you hit them and they get injured or dead. Like, fucking what? And then her counterplay has a delay. Her counterplay has a delay. You eat the little fungus and then you gotta wait like fucking... You gotta fucking wait the length of a fucking Nolan film before you're no longer infected. Okay, so you use your what happens when you infect all of them? The spit doesn't take that long to recharge. You go, puh, everybody's infected. Who's body blocking? Fuck you. I'm sorry, dude. And the fungi also aren't that abundant. Like, I don't, dude, the chase is not 90, there's no way it chases 90 seconds with this killer. There's no way it chases 90 seconds with this killer, bro. Yeah, you spawn a fungi every time you transform, but then you go down the person and it doesn't matter. They lose infection on a down. I don't care. I'm sorry, dude, I have played probably close to 25 games with this killer, right? I've played yeah, on a hook, on a down, same thing when it comes to me. I don't slug that often. I have played close to 25 games on this killer. I've played against this killer about 10 times, and I'm sorry, she's just really, really, really strong. I don't know what everybody else is seeing that I'm not, but I feel like you can infect the whole team. They all got to go get their fungus. They all got to eat the shit. They all got to wait 76 years for it to kick in. By that point, you probably down somebody. And then I found out the other night that if you're carrying someone and they body block a hit, they still get injured and downed. You don't have to infect them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. Map presence, extremely strong chase. Like, the thing keeping her out of S tier is that she has to swap between her head form and stuff. Like, I'm sorry, I don't see any world where she's B tier. I don't see any world where she's worse than Kaneki. I think she's way stronger than Kaneki. I think the gap between Krause and Kaneki is the same as the gap between Spirit and Dracula. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't see what you guys are talking about. I just don't. I'm sorry. First, taking away from my bias of how clunky I feel like this killer is for me personally, I do think that I'm going to agree with KMD and put him above Chucky. In my opinion, there is just the time sink to get to World Breaker mode and the slight clunkiness of his M2 is a problem. But it's not so much of a problem that I think you can put him in the B tier. I think he is very, very, very good at applying mass pressure to survivors. And I think that he also has a pretty decent map presence and a decent chase once you get over that. Once you get over the clunkiness of his M2, he becomes really strong. And I think that's, for me, that's what kind of like made it click. Because when I first started playing him, I called him C tier. I hated the fucking killer. Once I got over the clunkiness of his M2, I really saw the potential. And I understand exactly how strong he is as a killer at this current moment. Finally, we get to my new main. The newest killer in Dead by Daylight, Jason Voorhees. Mid to low perk reliance. You need some slowdown. You have to have some slowdown. Very low add-on reliance. Add-on reliance is not extremely prevalent in his kit. You don't need any. You want some. That's how I'll put it. You don't need add-ons, you want some. Okay? Map presence is very good. Anti-loop is middle of the road, but pretty good. Pretty good. Projectile, very strong. The mini Moris, I think it was Ambrosia that pointed this out to me. The mini Moris are unironically an underrated part of his kit. The fact that your final hook on somebody does not have to be a pickup is very strong. Very, very strong. The ability to mini Mori survivors in most situations is incredibly powerful. It saves you time because they're very fast. You don't have to risk being picked up, or you don't have to risk pallet and flashlight saves. You don't have to risk Sabo. You don't have to risk boil over. You don't have to risk any of that. You don't have to risk bad hook distribution. You don't even have to use hook spikes, KMD. If you use a normal javelin and pin them to a wall, you get it. Like, hook spikes are more consistent, for sure. But for me, personally, the things holding Jason back is, I think scrap piles need to be a little bit more consistently spawned and probably in better places. And I wish that the scrap spikes did something else. Whether that give deep wound or whatever, I just wish the scrap spikes did something else besides pure injure and impale if you get the hit on. Outside of that, I don't see any reason to put him below A. I just think he's good, man. I think he's really good. I think he's really, really, really powerful. I just think that right now as well, we're still in the first week and a half of Jason. First week of Jason. We're still in the first week of Jason. So it's still early. And I think that everybody is still getting used to him, both playing as and against him. So we're always going to have that very similar trade-off with each other on whether or not he's at the level of A or B. But I think the general consensus is high B, low A for a lot of people. Me personally, I feel like he has enough to push him over the top of B tier. But I do definitely understand people wanting to put him at the top of B tier and below A. I think that whether you say top of B, very top of B, peak of B, or you say very base of A, either way you are correct. That's what I feel like. I feel like everybody saying top of B is just as correct as me saying bottom of A. Here is our final tier list for those of you watching this video that skipped to the immediate end to see what it looks like, because I know how you people are. But generally speaking, this is how I feel about the current state of the game. With a combination of pallet density and gens flying off the handle and hit and run style being nerfed into the ground and 70-second hook timers, 15 seconds of borrowed time, stuff like that, I genuinely feel like this is where we're at. Right? At the end of the day, I do want to reiterate what each of these tiers means. F tier means useless. D tier means one step away from being useless. C tier means middle of the road. B tier means good. A tier means extremely powerful. And S tier means they are near perfect. Outside of all of that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're watching this on the YouTube, thank you so much for watching a near 2-hour video. I'm sure once I cut out a little bit of dead air, it'll be under the 2-hour mark. But other than that, I really appreciate it. As always, you can catch me live on Twitch. It's where I do most of these recordings. So go ahead and click that link in the description down below. And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. Between them and my Twitch subs, it helps me work toward my goal of opening my own bookstore one day. Although right now I am trying to crawl out of a little bit of debt. So any amount that you give me is fine. But also if you're just watching these videos, I still appreciate it. So thank you. Other than that, I love you guys so much. And I will see you in the next one.